The final piece of evidence is the wedding cage UFO. I've been working on that for 7 years, and recently Chris Locke is helping me with that, and we released this book. Some of you already know. This book was produced specifically for young people, because we have found that we cannot change some people. Probably we have to start with the younger generation. So this one is created for young students. It's constructed in a way that they can do scientific tests or some kind of proofs or tests, very simple ones, to know or get information about this type of ship. Is the research in a real UFO. You find them in Spanish, in English, in Amazon. If you want a German version, you have to contact the Figo in Switzerland, figo.org, and there is a German version of that book that was translated by Christian Ferner. Okay? And has 11 experiments, so since knowing how the sphere deflection works, and well, many things about that. I'm not going to give you too much detail about that, probably it's too heavy here, but you can just look at it in detail. But basically, this UFO looks very funny. Even for Billy, it looks funny. Billy called it the cake UFO. The UFO that looks like a cake, looks like a wedding cake. So that's why I say the wedding cake UFO. And you say, what? The UFO is supposed to be a disc, not that thing. Okay, so why that funny appearance? Like this one. These are very nice photographs with little small details. So, for some people say that these are Christmas tree balls in the base of a trash can lid, with other things like the base of a pot plant, some supports of shell support, the one that you put in a little thing and put in it, is shell support. Very common household items used. In another contact report in the 254, Parte explained a little more details about that. This flying device was developed or designed in the 1920s to be used on Earth environment. If you look at videos of really major UFOs, the one that looks like this, they're moving all the time. If you look at videos of the wedding cake UFO, especially one that is in a tree, it's completely static. It's not moving. Why? Because it's designed for our environment. So probably all the spheres and all of that interact with our magnetic field in a way that is very stable. It's not moving up and down all the time. But in the 20s, they tried to send that information by telepathic impulse to German scientists in order to construct that type of spaceships that would help the development of the Earth. So trying to stimulate the imagination of those scientists. But they found at the time that those scientists were getting or shifting towards different purpose, so they tried to use it for wars as a military equipment. So immediately they stopped sending those impulses and they started sending false impulses to confuse those scientists, so they were not able to construct it anymore. That's the origin of the wedding cake UFO, is back from the 1920s. But for some reason, most of those items look like similar household items. It's helping the skeptic barrier. Well, let's look at that in detail. This is a detail. You see a little blue lens here, red lens. Should be another lens here, but I don't know which color it is. Little crystals, one here, blue, green, red. Some little details like this one. This is a plate with an X mark that if this is a model, it has to be 2 millimeters wide. So it's so small. So if you really did that, has to use a microscopic tools to do little details because it's so small. Very curious. It looks like the support of the shells, the one that you have on you put with your drill, you make a hole, you put a round piece there, and then the other part that goes there, and you support your child. But it's a little bit different. Has a wider head. It's not exactly the same. The upper part is one. That's okay. The upper part of the upper platform is very similar to a pot plant base. The plant that puts in the bottom to receive the water, that excess of water, is very similar. There's one, but the one that is being shown as evidence that Meyer did it with that is, has a different proportion of the width against the height. And this one has some stars, the other one has other stars, but this one has 5 rows of stars, but the plant base is only 4 rows of stars. So it's very similar, but it's not the same. Why? Because somebody constructed. It's not very clear to me if the Pleiadians did it on purpose. In the contact report, they seem to be surprised about that. They have found 25 items in the UFO that are very similar to known objects. I'm not sure if somebody just look at the photograph of Billy Meyer, try to build those items, or the Pleiadians did it on purpose. Reading the contact report, looks like the Pleiadians didn't do it, somebody else did it. But there's no clear explanation why, but they look very similar. Okay, so how do we know this object is a little model that is close to the camera, or is a big object that is far away? The way to do it is like using the reflection of the spheres. I'm going to give you an example. Let's suppose that you have a frame, and you take a picture of the frame. How do you know if the frame is small and it's here, you got a picture, or it's a big one that is back there? You don't know. But if the frame has a mirror here, when you take a picture, you see your face in the mirror, right? You see your face, and your face is big. You say, oh, the mirror is close, because you're looking at the reflection. But if the mirror is in that wall, far away, you don't see your face, you see your whole body. So it's smaller. So it gives you an idea of if it's close or if it's far away. Using the same logic, we were looking the reflections on the sphere. I'm going to give you like this one. The reflection of the spheres that are very similar, show the reflection of the carrier's house, where Billy was located when he was taking the pictures. I'm going to show you a map. This is the map of the Billy Meyer property. This is the main house, Billy Meyer. And this is the carrier's house. Actually, it has some rooms there. And on the top, I think there is a meeting room where they made the peace meditation up there. And the UFO was here in the red area. This is another view from the hill that is there. From there is a wide view of the place a few years after the way the UFO was photographed. So you see there are less trees here and here. This is a more recent picture. This is an older one. And the UFO was in that area. We are making an estimation that it was moving in that area. This is the carrier's house. This is Billy Meyer's house. And Billy was here, in that place. So Billy was close to the wall, below the ceiling, with his camera, waiting in the same place. He didn't move. Looking at the orientation in the different photographs, we know that he didn't move. He stayed in the same place, and we know that with an error of 30 centimeters, the location of the camera, more than 30 centimeters error. And he was there taking the photograph of the flying chip in front of him. So that's the 11th photograph he took of that plane UFO. Looking at the reflection, we know that if this is a model that is close to him, the reflection should be showing a big carrier's house reflection. This is a simulation with a computer. So the carrier's house should be much bigger. Christian Ferrer do some tests with some spheres there, and he does exactly the same. And when the sphere is at 1 meter distant we see the carousel so big in the image that is not what the Billy Mayer picture shows. It's not that size. And also, if you look at detail, there is a little brown figure here that might be Billy Mayer taking the pictures. All the investigation that we are doing for many tests and in many ways, we have found that this WCUFO UFO flying in his backyard, front yard, was around 3.5 meters. So it's the size of a small car. In that ship could hold one pilot. Could be 3 people there, very crowded, just in case of emergency, but one person inside that one. So it's 3.5 meters that one. Okay, let's continue. That one is an interesting one. It's a UFO in front of a tree. This is a Norway spruce, a very common tree in that area of Switzerland. This one shows 2 UFOs in the tree. That one, some skeptics say, oh, that's very simple. Billy pulled a bonsai, a little tree, with the model, and he took a picture from the distance. Another skeptics say, okay, that's also very clear. It's a false perspective. The model is very close, and the tree is behind. Okay, so this one explanation for that, another explanation for that. But if you look in detail, it's the same tree at the same moment. Billy was walking over there. There are 5 photographs that you see the sequence, Billy getting closer, closer and closer. And you notice that the wedding cake cast a shadow on the tree, and here also. So it shows us that the tree and the wedding cake are one close to another one. And you see more detailed image of that tree. You notice a real tree with real leaves. It's a Norway spruce, and the wedding cake is very close to it. So you see some reflection, that reflections here from the tree, clear reflection coming from the surrounding grass, the shadow on the branches. Some of the branches are receiving the sunlight, but all is done. So this is a wedding cake that is very close to that tree. That tree is 7 meters tall, so that wedding cake is also 3.5 meters. Later on, 2 hours later, Billy was walking. He's in this place. I found this place in Google Earth Maps. I found that tower and found more or less the location of this photograph. You see it behind some tree. It's not very clear very much, but if you increase the contrast, you see that the wedding cake is behind another tree similar to the other one, the Norway spruce. You notice the red crystals here, the wedding cake there. Here you may wonder, how can Billy be walking on countryside in Switzerland taking pictures of the UFOs and nobody noticing? Because this one is 2 hours late. Should be a neighbor or somebody there just looking at, oh, what that guy is doing with that camera. Oh, there's a strange flying machine there. So why they didn't notice it? This spaceship has a cloaking device, so they hide themselves from curious people. Billy Mayer explained it in the Japanese documentary. He explained that they have some kind of sphere around, and they make a hole in that sphere, and that hole is pointing to his head of his camera, because he is the only one to see it. So we could be there and nobody would see it, only Billy Mayer camera can see it. If he walked to another location, so that hole is moving all the way directly to his camera. So that's the way that he could be walking and taking picture of that UFO, walking in countryside without any people saying, oh, what is that? What is there? The way came UFO at night, there are other pictures that it looks golden instead of silver. Some people said he sprayed it with golden painting or something like that, or because of the use of these different strange lights, has that color. So they say they put it on a table, probably in a black table, or put some kind of cover on that table that is black, and he took a picture with little models of cars and little trees, things like that. Okay, this photograph shows the Wenke UFO at night. This is a tree that is not in good focus because the camera is taking a picture with low light, so the diaphragm is very open. So what we call the depth of, how you call that? Depth of field is very short, so can be only focus the Wenke UFO, but not the tree that is closer than the car, or the car that is a little bit blurry. Here is a telemetric disc just moving while the picture took place. It's a small little device that they use. So it's here shining. Filmmaker was walking. In 2 minutes later, he was closer. This one could be one of the leaves of the trees, probably he's below the tree. Again, the same UFO and the Mercedes-Benz vehicle there. Looking at the size of the vehicle and the UFO, it looks to be a 7 meters Wenke UFO. So now we have a bigger one. So there's in two sizes. That's a very interesting picture taken by Billy very early in the morning, 2:48 a.m. He was on board on another Wenke UFO flying in the middle of nowhere in the Swiss countryside, and he took a picture of that. It's like the one on the table, and he took a picture of that. But recently we have discovered that increasing the contrast and the brightness, we discovered there is something below that UFO. First of all, there's a pink halo around it. We don't know what is this. There's a kind of footpath or road, a pole, probably a fence pole, that normally they measure 1 meter high. So comparing this size with that size, we know that this is a 7 meters Wenke UFO. But there's something that you may notice. Not sure if you notice this. Look at it here on the pole. You see something here? You see that shadow? Why that shadow is there? Another question is, why if the Wenke UFO looks so bright, very bright, why the surrounding environment that is just below the UFO is not clear too? Why is it so dark? If this is made with a model, and if you look at the sphere, you notice there are two sources of light, one on the right and one on the left. Like he was taking a picture of the model, and he has a studio light here, another one here, one on the right and one on the left, taking a picture of that. If there are two lights, why there is only one shadow here? This is a mystery. The only explanation that we have, and it is also related to what Billy Mayer said. Billy says this UFO is that color because it's emitting light. Instead of reflecting light from external source, it emits light, so kind of radiation. And we have found the reflection that is probably true because the reflection cannot explain external light. The only way to explain it is that some internal light there. And probably that Wenke UFO was using a clocking device, so it's not radiating any light to the ground, only to the camera, so Billy took a picture, but here it's very dark because no light is going down there. So you could be walking here at that time and you may notice nothing. No UFO, no spaceship, nothing, because they were using the clocking device. That's the only explanation of that. That single shadow cannot be explained by model theory, or it's very difficult to know or explain by the UFO. The only explanation is that it's using a clocking device. And what is lighting this is a very distant street light, little point that produces that single shadow. That's the only explanation. To tell you, I noticed that before in the first Wenke UFO investigation report that I produced and released, I was going to publish this photograph. I didn't notice the pole that is here. You see the pole is here. This is a photograph of when the Stiegel album. It's been there for a long time, but we only noticed 3 years ago, 2 years ago. 30 years there, and we didn't notice that, the pole. And we also didn't notice that red tiger. I was going to put it in the investigation report on the wedding UFO, but James Deldorf asked me not to do it because the evidence that I have about the wedding night was not very solid at that time. Right now it is. We have more clues, so we can put it more about the wedding UFO night. That lines, vertical lines, is related to the format of the image. It's a JPEG with low resolution that has that pattern of vertical lines. But that red halo is also in the photograph. You can go any place in the internet, find a photograph, and do some image processing, and you will find the same halo and the same color. But having that kind of image, doing that same thing with the image that are available right now in internet, and all photograph probably is the same. Okay, more information about UFO, which is the last piece of evidence that I'm using here, but you can use all the pieces of information to demonstrate that duality between showing fake information and showing real information at the same time. You can find it in my detailed investigation. It's a 70-something pages report in Spanish and in English. Here is the address. You can download it and read it. It's a little bit technical. It has some calculation. You need to know a little bit about geometry, trigonometry, and things like that. But it's not very complex in reality. Or you can also find the book in the one that we published for young scientists with some tests that they can do some experiments, like for example constructing a stereoscope to see images in 3D from the wedding UFO. That's very interesting because the wedding UFO, because it has a different sphere, each sphere is working like a single eye looking something. In the reflection you see something. And because there are different spheres, you can use two of them to produce a stereoscopic image. So you see in 3D the shadows of the trees. That's very interesting and one of the tests that we did. Also image processing and so on. Well, there's a lot of experiments on that. This is for young people very curious to working on that. Now the question is why this worldwide UFO controversy? By the way, this photograph with this tree, there are several photographs the UFO moving around the tree. This tree was also disappeared by the Pleiadian. The Pleiadian took it away. Why they do that? Because of the UFO, because of the worldwide UFO controversy. So they did it on purpose. So my conclusion are this following. They do it because we have to be skeptical with an open mind. That's one of my conclusions. Why to be skeptical? Because we cannot trust everything that is in internet. Especially in internet, they show a conspiracy. Oh, it's a conspiracy, great, it should be real, let's see it. Oh, all the scientists on Earth are lying you. The Earth is flat, it's not round. They've been lying you for centuries, so you are living under the dome. You are controlled in that single space, and the sun is like a spotlight moving around you, illuminating, giving you heat, and then disappearing. The flat Earth, by the way, looks like a sociological, social experiment by an intelligence group. I imagine some people from an intelligence group saying, okay, let's imagine how can we convince the people of something that is totally absurd, but they think that is true. Let's imagine the world conspiracy or more difficult to believe that could be available. What is something that everybody knows that is true now, that we can convince them that is not true? Oh, that the Earth is not flat. Everybody knows that the Earth is not flat. Okay, let's convince them that the Earth is flat. So they put in internet a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of demonstrations that show that the Earth is flat. And they should look at the statistics on the website, the YouTube videos, Facebook group. They know what percentage of the population could be so, stupid to believe that. So that's one way to know sociological how percentage of the population could be manipulated at this point of time. This is my personal interpretation of that one. Because it's totally crazy thinking that the Earth is flat. Well, I've been living in South America. When I see the sun going down, it's not moving around. I've been in South America where the sun, instead of moving in one direction, is moving in the other direction. That cannot be explained in a flat earth model. Totally absurd. Okay, so what they want with the worldwide UFO controversy is that they make us to think by ourselves. We have to start thinking that something that the mainstream media is showing us is not true. Something that some people are telling us for a long time is maybe it's not true. But we have also to be open-minded to see the truth. Because we'll be skeptical that we trust anything. That's the other extreme. We don't have to be totally skeptical that say no, anything of that is true. Or we have to be skeptical just to filter the information that we receive, investigate it, and understand it by ourselves. It's telling us that you are responsible for your own knowledge. In the past, we were eating what was available. Right now, we have a big buffet with many different things, and you pack what you need. You pick what you need, and you eat what you need. So you have to be very selective on the information you are receiving. That's the shift of the society that is happening right now. We have to be skeptical and we have to be open-minded. So we have to understand that maybe there are a lot of lies there, but we cannot believe that everything is a lie. So we have to use our own internal judgment. So you don't have to trust on skeptics. You don't have to trust on UFO investigators. Don't trust me. And my investigation, I am not saying you have to trust me because I said so. I put in information for you to do your own investigation, your own testing, and reach your own conclusion. I am just saying something that I have found. Probably you found something different. Go ahead and investigate it and find something different. So this is the shift of society that we have to think and be responsible for our own development. Also, the worldwide UFO controversy is required because it's allows people that are not ready to accept a new reality to have an exit door. Some people do not understand why it is wrong. They have some religious ideas. You find on the internet, I have been receiving notes from some people saying, oh, ETs are demons, are devils, and they try to convince humanity on different things. Don't pay attention to that. The Lord is the only one that is true. Things like that. Or some people say, no, the earth is flat, there is not extraterrestrial planets, all of that is not real. Other people say, okay, there's ET, extraterrestrial life. UFOs are correct, yeah, the Roswell case and others are correct. All the ETs are the little one, the grace one, and what Billy Bayer said is not true. So there's a lot of different flavors of skepticism. So that one is constructed for the people that are not ready to have an exit door. Why? Because the people's psyche would be seriously affected. I told you that once in a while some people call me because somebody saw a UFO and they want some explanation from my side. I have an experience in my country, in Colombia, in another part of Colombia. I was working in a company in that part of Colombia, in another part, in an area that is very close to a desert. There was a lieutenant of the police that was very confused. He was not sleeping very well. He was somehow getting crazy, feeling very bad, and probably disconnecting from reality. And somebody told me he saw a UFO the other night, and he don't understand that. Why don't you go and talk with him? So I went and talked with him and explained that it was very common in that area. He was not the only one to saw a UFO. There was also a kid from the school that saw them flying on the sky, so that what they saw was very clear. So his psyche was affected, but as soon as he understood that was very common, he was started calm down, knowing that he was not getting crazy. What we saw was real, understanding why they are here. I explained him so many things that I already know, things that I've been explaining here. And he was feeling very well. After that, he could sleep very well, and he was feeling relief. He told me, oh, you are like a priest that I knew some time ago that helped me just understand many things. Okay, this topic could make some people get crazy. Right now, people in there somehow is crazy, but will be more people getting crazy. So that was created that way. Right now, it's not that complicated because we know there are all planets in our system. So we will find out that there are light from Mars, microscopic light. There are other interested in discovery, like the Nazca mummies, if you have seen them. That's something that is opening our mind to a new reality. Billy Mayer UFO case, or Billy Mayer case, is opening also our mind to another reality. So this is a transformation that is happening. In the past, there was only one small UFO. Right now, you see, for example, in Mexico City, a demonstration with 100 bright objects flying in the sky. What? Why is happening that? Are these UFOs or what is this? So something is happening. They will be more common and more common. So this is a transition of our transformation. It was planned as a part of the transition. You're supposed to go to a jungle and you find there are some primitive people living in that jungle. You cannot go there and impact their culture immediately. You have to first probably dress like them, like one of them, walking among them, and start teaching them something to allow that culture to adapt to know that there's somebody else living out there. So that's what the ATs are doing with us. So it has a good purpose. The purpose of that barrier is that it allows us to have a very soft transition. So that skeptic barrier will be destroyed in the future. We will be seeing that it's falling down. Right now it's started falling down because of that evidence that's showing that Billy Mayer case is real. But we will see in the future that we can see our world. So we are moving from the present to the future. By looking at Billy Mayer case and all the information they have on the spiritual teachings and showing what could happen with if we do know something different, we don't do something different, it's telling us that we have to do something by ourselves. The main message in Billy Mayer case is we have to have our own responsibility. Don't trust what everybody else give it to you information or somebody else tell you. In the future, there will be no gurus, no masters, no leaders. Everyone should be his own leader because we will have a direct connection with the creation. So we will know what is true and what it is not. In the future, we feel that connection that are between human beings. We are all connected. All that I do is affecting you. All that you is doing is affecting me. If we know that connection, we cannot harm anybody else. So there will be no wars in the future. There will be no wars because I cannot damage one part of myself. If, for example, my right hand is very angry about my left hand because the other day I was putting a nail on the wall and hit it with a hammer. So that hand is very upset about that hand and started pushing the other one. So one part of myself is hitting myself. That sounds crazy, right? But this is what is happening in the humanity. One part of the humanity is damaging another part of the humanity. So we have to go in a conscious level that we understand that connection between human beings. Right now we feel some isolation. We feel that I am isolated, that I am individual human being. We don't feel that connection. In the future world, we will feel in that connection, but right now we don't. So that sense of solitude gives us to gather everything. Oh, this is my wife, these are my sons, this is my house, this is my car, this is my country, this is my planet. So that's part of that solitude that we feel. If we are connecting with everything, everybody will be my brother, my sister. I cannot understand why my brother is on the street. I will be helping him. Doesn't matter that I have to solve his problem, but I will help him just to solve it by himself. So in the new world, we're going to have self-responsibility. It's going to be a planet that will be not as crowded as the one that we have right now. At this point, we have overpopulation that is destroying the planet Earth. So in the future, we're going to handle in a more responsible way. I don't believe the world is going to end, but I think if we don't do anything smart, what is going to happen is going to look like the end of the world. All the catastrophes that are going to happen if we don't do anything. And the only way to start doing that is starting with ourselves, doing an inner transformation. All that the ETs, the UFOs show us, why we are looking up there to start, is that we have to look inside here. So one way to look up there and say, oh, there's light up there. It's just an invitation to look inside yourself and feel that connection between you and the creation. That's the purpose of all of that. What is more important is the transformation that you do in yourself. Okay? And if any one of us transform ourselves, we are creating a transformation in the world. That's something that is going to happen. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone have the energy to make some questions? Ask something? Okay.
You said you knew about 4 cases with extraterrestrials, Billy Meyer, and then what about the other 3?
Okay. 4 cases. One of them is somebody that Billy Meyer thinks is not a real contactee. It's Sixto Paz. Sixto Paz is a Peruvian guy that was living in Lima and in a place called, in a desert very close to Lima, he witnesses some UFOs. And he says he has been talking with those ET humans. I know him because he was in my house. I invite him. But actually, the place where I live in invite him, and I say, okay, he can stay in my home. I was talking with him face to face. That's one of them. Billy Meyer says that this is not a real contactee, that is totally absurd, that there is life in Ganymedes, one of the moons of Jupiter. And that's true. There is no life in Ganymedes. There is a space station. Sixto Paz says that. Sixto Paz is a case that shows that he has some religious background, so he has some interpretation based on his own knowledge. And that's okay. I see, okay, he makes some religious interpretation of the UFOs because he's what he has done. But to me, this is a real case. Another case is somebody called Luis Roberto Rodriguez, who was a countryman in Colombia that was taking care of cattle, milking them, extracting the milk. He was a very poor guy. I mean, very poor means that he didn't have the wealthness of most of the people. He lived in a poor house with a family, just working on the countryside. One day he started hearing some voices saying, prepare for something important that is going to happen to you. And he was really scared about that. Some of his friends, oh, that's the devil, you have to go away from here. Something bad is going to happen. He was taking a work in a spaceship, and he was dealing with human beings from the stars that are different from the Pleiadians. The Pleiadians has beard, like me, but I'm not a Pleiadian, you know. But that one has a long hair going to the shoulder. They have a pink halo around, a violet halo, and a clear face, a bit different than the Pleiadian. And the other case, the fourth one, is somebody called James Thompson. He's somebody in the United States, and he just had one single contact with them. He was driving with his car, with his girlfriend, just for some reason he went out of the road, and he ended up below a spaceship, and a small, beautiful lady. He said that is the most beautiful lady that I have seen, was a white one, who was talking with him. And he was using some kind of technology, projecting his body in 3D close to him. And with that technology, he saw an image of himself in a hologram, and in that image, he was putting out the muscles, the bones, and he was examining his body with a very high-tech device. Instead of that crazy story that the ETs just capture the people and cook them and do things, medical examination. They don't have to do that. They have the technology just to scan yourself without touching. And that day they did it for making feel comfortable. The lady, the ET lady, projected herself there. So she said, "Oh, I'm here." And she was making comparison between her body and the body of James Thompson. To me, this is a real case. Happened just once, or to me, it's a honest person. I've been working in coaching. I am a coach. So for me, it's very easy to look at the body language, the tone of the voice, and I understand something else in the conversation. So I can easily find somebody's lying to me because of the body language, okay? The way they look, the way they move their hands, or whatever. So to me, that he's saying the truth, 62 Plus is saying the truth, Luis Roque is saying the truth, and Billy Mayer is saying the truth. There are 4 contactees that are real. Okay? Any other question? Go ahead.
Okay, so if Pata said that they were flying the ships on purpose, like a pendulum, right? Doesn't that make you distrust almost everything that assuming they're real, and assuming that they're real and they play tricks, right? To manipulate us now to have this controversy.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make you question other things that they do?
Yeah.
Or is that the whole point?
Yeah. Yeah. They did it, I didn't know that. But I also know that somebody was looking that in detail and finding hiding clues show that this is real. You see the videos. Actually, the video is no longer available. You are going to ask the video to Billy. He said he doesn't have it. Somebody very close to him, I'm not gonna say who, said it to a German person. He doesn't have it. All what we have is all recordings from the video itself. One doing by the Japanese team that they recorded in a projection on the screen, and another one that has been saying that is gathered in different places. So we know the video is not manipulated because we have different sources. The one from the Japanese has something interesting that they put a time counter, so the speed of the film is not manipulated. Like you say, oh, moving slowly in one part or moving faster in another part, just to simulate the changes on the pendulum movement. No, this is a real one. So, okay, yes, the information is put in there in a way that they distort everything that they are doing. But they did it on purpose. They didn't want us to trust on them. What they want to do is just create a worldwide UFO controversy. They are not doing they didn't do the demonstration to say, oh, they exist. No. They put it in that way to say you have to think by yourself. You have to find the clues by yourself. If you want to find the truth, you have to be careful to look behind what is obvious. And this is a teaching that they are giving to us.